We are the Hollywood Paranormal Detectives.
That's right, we are. What's up, everybody? It's Wednesday night, and I know what you're thinking. It's not 8 o'clock yet, but we thought it was time to bring you some action. I couldn't wait. We've been late before. We've never been early, so we're hitting you early with your favorite paranormal chit-chat. And I'm going to start it off a little different, bringing in old Mandy Maisie first. What's up, Mandy?
Sorry, I was not expecting that.
I always bring in Brian first. How are you doing, Mandy?
I'm good. How are you?
Are you ready to have fun tonight? Because we have
ready.
an unconventional guest.
I'm excited.
And to talk unconventional, everyone's unconventional is Brian.
B-Man.
The Bry Man.
I'm here,
Man.
back from the grave to rock and rave.
All right. I'm going to bring him in. Here he is. The man that puts the fun back in funeral. The man that takes the normal out of the paranormal. The para-whore himself, Mr. Scott Grindelwald.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
Hi, Brian, Manny, Steven. How are you guys?
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm remarkably well for the weather.
Yes.
I'm not a summer girl. I like the cold.
And where are you? You're in Fresno still?
I am the armpit of California.
You're in Fresno?
I am.
I'm from Clovis.
Oh well, I'm kind of Clovis. So.
Okay, yeah, I was just there this weekend visiting my family. So.
Did you go to the Did you go to the Antique Roadshow?
I went to the Junk Days. Yeah.
Junk Day. I called it the Antique Roadshow. No,
Did
wasn't
you
it
go?
great? Yeah, I was there. I was there for a few hours. I walked around and bought some cool stuff.
Yeah, I bought a lot of things that I definitely did not need, but
I know, right?
That's
Everything
okay.
I bought has rust on it. So, yeah.
That's how it goes.
I like rust, though.
I love rust. It never sleeps.
That's very true.
Now, one of the first things I ever saw, Scott, was your shirt, the para-whore.
Yeah.
Was that your original shirt? And tell me what is a para-whore?
So we did a show called The Paranormal Stew, and we had a girl on the show who slept with celebrities, so we called her a para-whore, and it was my sister, and she's a whore, and then we but it was just a skit. It was no big deal. We made 2 shirts, one for me, one for her. It was a done deal.
Yeah.
And it started growing. People wanted these shirts, and soon we're up to 500 shirts that people are selling. And then it became a thing, not what it originally was, but a community of people. Now we got a lot of backlash. A lot of people didn't like it, but then we hit 5,000 shirts. We sold 5,000 shirts in 5 different languages, right? And so put my kid through college, So it became a thing, and it's still hated and it's still loved, and I don't know. I still have a few laying around here somewhere, extra small to 5X. So.
Oh my God, I need one.
Oh, okay.
No matter what, it caught people's attention. So
I don't make any money.
We had you know what? But look how handsome you are. That's adorable. I don't know. Just adorable.
Adorable.
It's weird. Some things click. It's like, I don't know. I look at influencers, like on different platforms and stuff, and they some hits, some miss. And you put out a really good video, and it gets like a couple of views, and you see some really weird thing that happens to fit the algorithm that's going on with TikTok or whatever.
Yeah.
And it blew up. So I had made multiple shirts, but that one right there, people wanted them. I had pictures of people burning them. I mean, we went to Kentucky and gave away like 75 of these things, man. And we got a lot of people were like, one lady got one for her 10-year-old. And I'm like, oh, well, okay. I mean, it's your kid, right? So
Start them young.
Start them young.
Yeah. Oh, no.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's horror stuff. Starts young.
Um,
Oh God.
Well, Scott, take us back. This paranormal world, it hooked all of us at some point. What was your first experience? What was the first thing that made you start kind of, looking in the shadows and being interested in ghosts and paranormal?
My parents were paranormal investigators. So,
really?
Yeah, and I was embarrassed. I was so embarrassed as a kid. My dad with his turban and my mom with her tea leaves and Ouija board. And they didn't have paranormal conventions. They had like cat shows and dog shows and car shows. And I remember I was like 15, 14. And the girl I liked from school just comes walking up to my mom and dad's table and oh my God, I could have died. I just could have died because it wasn't popular back then. We're talking, a long time ago. And so, late 70s and stuff. So I was just like, oh my God, I hated it. I really did. I went on a quest to prove there's no such thing as ghosts, I failed. At 16, I saw my first ghost. And then I thought, okay, maybe there's something to this. But I'm going to take it another way. So I started reading books by Hans Holzer, and I started getting into it. And then as the years progress, life gets in the way, and I just couldn't it. And then I met a man who was like the Willy Wonka of the paranormal named Todd Wolfe. And he had this place called Wolf Manor.
Wolf Manor, yes. Over
on Clovis Avenue. And he said, you want to be a tour guide here? And I said, yeah, I'll do it. I'll be a tour guide there. And long story long, we created the first weekly paranormal TV show called The Haunted Wolf Manor Live. Mm-hmm. And it took 12, 13 hours to set up for a 45-minute show. It wasn't like now where you just take a camera or a phone and point it.
You just tap your phone, you're live now.
Right. Yeah. Back then we had generators and all the special equipment that we had got from people. And then there was a place called Ustream. It was made for like people to say hi to grandma, hi grandma, and we used that as our platform. So we started, and then Ustream hit us up and like, dudes, how are you doing this? Because we're doing this most amazing live shots. We became their #1 show. So if you went to their site, it was us.
Wow.
We got nominated for multiple Webbies. Just went on. And then people started doing shows, and it caught up. And once everybody else was doing it, we didn't want to do it anymore. We were done with it. And we all went off to do ABC producer walking behind me. There you go. How are you, son? How's work? So proud of this guy. It's okay. How's it working for it? You know who? Yeah, I'm so proud. See, that's what college does.
Oh, good.
Fresno State.
Now, I remember the story of, when Ghost Adventures came to Wolf Manor about you getting your ankles pulled.
Oh my God, you remember that? I had brown hair.
Yeah.
And a blue shirt.
You tell us that story?
Yeah. We were doing our live show, walking around. Brandon Smeltzer, my best friend, God rest his soul, he was going to lure somebody down in the basement, and there was this crawl space, and it was about 5 feet off the ground, and then it kind of went into underneath the mansion.
Yeah, so it was like a little square kind of on the wall.
A little square, right? And I'm like, I'm gonna say the word Rose, and I'll jump out and scare our guest for that week. And he said, well, I know Rose is around, so I went to jump out, but something grabbed my ankles. So it freaked me out, and I went out head first, cracked my head on the concrete, ended up in the hospital. And I remember laying in the hospital like, do I remember a thumb and fingers around my ankles? Do I remember the feeling? Was it a cat paw? Was there just a cat under there? No, it was actually 2 hands, and it kind of gave me a little pull. And that scared me, and I came out on my head and cracked my head open. Yeah. And so, and I'd known Zach from Vegas Voltage before Ghost Adventures, and he hit me up. He said, hey, did you get pulled by your ankles? And I said, I did. He said, well, we're going to hang out with you for a week or so. And I said, okay, cool. He's just this young, nice kid back then, and then from then on, him and I just hit it off, doctor. We were just became really, really good friends, and still are, So anything that came along after that, Paranormal Paparazzi, Paranormal Challenge, anything, he included me in. So it was kind of cool to be, Zach's friend, and and then I had a stroke, and he was like the first one, to see me, to see if I was okay. So, we have a genuine friendship, and it's, and the more people hate him, and they hate me, the better it is. It just happens. People are going to be people.
I've been a Facebook and Instagram friend of yours. I remember when you injured your eye sort of recently, and I've been sending you love.
Crazy, huh?
I remember. So now I'm going to send you the love face to face.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. You got a great face too. A pipe hit me in the face. A water pipe. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I was working on a diesel pump and broke free, smacked me in the face. So that was weird. I was like, I didn't know what to do, so I grew my hair out and did a couple pilots for a couple shows.
That's cool.
Did a naked show. We did the Naked Investigator.
Yes.
Because we'd already done that before on Paranormal Paparazzi. So some people hit me up and they go, hey, we want to do a naked investigation show, and everybody I talked to said, you need to talk to Scott Gruenwald. He's the naked investigator.
He's the expert.
And I'm the expert. My big flabby body. So I'm like, so do I need to lose weight? And they're like, nah, don't worry about it. Oh my God. Bro, I will send you a copy of that. It's horrendous.
I think I've seen some of it, sir.
It's okay, but I had really great cast working with me, and these three beautiful girls, and Jeff, my best friend, he was in it, but he won't get naked. And a couple other people, George Choplain, he was naked in there. There's a list. Andrew Morrow was naked in there. It was weird. We were shooting at in Boyle Heights at that old hospital. Linda Vista, and we were shooting there, and it was me and a couple people, and they were shooting True Blood, this TV show, at the same time. So we kind of had to sneak in our area because they're doing it over there, And so I'm naked, Ian Rubel's naked, Goth Girl's naked, Stephanie Chica's naked. We're all naked, and we're doing this thing, and we turn around, and my producer and my field producer and my camera guy are naked. I'm like, right on, guys, everybody's naked. We went back and we looked at the film, and there was a guy there. It's weird. There was not a ghost, just a random dude naked. But
wait, a guy that wasn't with you was just naked?
Just a naked guy that was living in the hospital, I guess.
Oh my God.
We had no idea. There was so much naked, we didn't know what was going on.
Well, let's crack the egg of the naked. Was there a paranormal theory behind it?
There is, and it's ancient actually. And so, but we always took it as when we're naked, we're vulnerable, and the other side feeds on energy. I'm getting chills. So we always did like high energy things that would attract. That would be like if you were to have some kind of thing that made EMF stronger, that energy from within. And as you add, if I say add Mandy and Brian to the equation, it would change it. It's just me and you. It changes. This equation changes. So if you're really scared, something happens. If you're really happy, something happens. It's this energy. So being so vulnerable, like you're standing up in front of the class, being introduced as a new kid in school.
Yeah.
You're terrified,
Mm-hmm.
So there is an energy there, and that was it. That's what we took it for. And one of the most amazing things happened. I saw a ghost, and I had seen like 3 in my whole life. And we got it on film, and it was amazing. And it wasn't matrixing; it was a person. So it was like I'm gonna just keep doing this, So I've done it, and I've done it maybe 20, 30 times since then with various groups and people. And it's weird at first, but the weirder it is, and the most vulnerable it is, and the most kind of cover-uppy you are, and scared you are, or maybe because of your body. The more energy it's producing, and so almost measurable, and so it works. I mean,
it's got to
do it. It's great.
Produce a level of hormones, pheromones, blood pumping, nerves.
Absolutely.
It probably produces a lot of chemically things inside the body. Yeah.
Is it getting dark over here?
I think so.
Getting a little dark over here.
It's been a little dark.
So, and that was the theory behind it. Is we're just going to do this, and we'll see what happens. And things happen, and so we've done that in a few locations. And then we created Stark, the Naked Paranormal Stark, which is searching to acquire. Yeah, right. Searching to acquire real knowledge. It actually has an acronym.
Right.
Yeah, right. And I'd like to take credit for it, but I can't. But I'm not going to tell you who did, because so I can kind of take credit for it. But then we shot a pilot for Stark, and it was okay, and it was fine. But I've got people hit me up all the time. Hey, do you want to do this? I love being a fire inspector. I do. I love inspecting and checking out fire detection systems and stuff like that. And that's my passion. So if I was offered a job to go be naked on TV and it was less than 10,000 an episode, maybe I would probably just, stay, doing what I love most, Yeah.
Yeah. Now, this is a question only for the Naked Investigator. Have you ever had any naked evidence that you couldn't have with clothes on?
Okay. So, yeah, being hugged, pulled, touched, fondled.
Yeah.
There was some lifting.
Okay.
Yeah, there was definitely some kind of lifting thing going on. It wasn't on me. It was on somebody else. And I'm like, dude, I'm not looking at your junk, but are you doing that? Oh, my God. So we got it on film. We can't do anything with it. And he's kind of a big guy. He's kind of a large fella. And I'm like, are you like flexing your penis muscle?
Yeah.
He has stuff looking at me. I go, dude, look at it. He's like, holy shit, I feel that. So that was actually pretty cool. We've had a couple girls get touched in different areas of their body. And I think a lot of it is we get so nervous and stuff. And I still do. And when you're getting up to speak at an event, or you're going to be on TV, or you're standing in front of the class talking, nerves are good, man. The minute you stop being nervous, you're done. It's like thinking you know everything. So having nerves, I think it's wonderful. And I've talked to a lot of mediums, and they're like, they do. I have a few that will sit out and do these. I can't remember what the name is, but they sit in their yard naked and they talk to entities and stuff, C5s or something like that.
Nature spirits.
Yeah, nature spirits and CE5, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, inviting them into your life. And so they invite me to come along, but I'm like, no, I don't know. The grass is cold. I don't know how to sit on it. But I mean, I actually, there's pictures of me sitting right on the dirt naked. It's just, so girl.
This sounds amazing. I'm missing out.
It's fun, Andy. It's like when people would frown on a lot of things back in the day, we looked into it. Scrying was another thing where people would look into a mirror, and in the Egyptian days, they'd look into a bowl of water, and they would speak to the spirits. Well, when we start scrying, this is in 2005 maybe or so, people didn't like it. People were like, no, that's opening bad stuff. And we're getting a lot of black orbs, and we're getting a lot of weird stuff coming out of the mirrors, and we're seeing faces. People they're more terrified than they were concerned of our safety. They were like, you know what, you're bringing stuff to us that isn't, and then once the internet, got a hold of this
the way
kind of stuff.
People think if they watch The Exorcist, they can get the devil. The people think watching that scrying, they can actually get something through. Yeah.
Now, it's weird because when that whole thing happened, we were reversing ions in the air. We were taking droplets of water, reversing the ions. We were putting 25,000 volts into the rooms with horse fences, the horse electric fences.
Oh, wow.
We're doing all this kind of stuff to see if we could change, a haunted location. Ion blasters, cannons.
Brian does that. Brian will walk around with a stun gun.
Yeah,
like charge
exactly,
the air with
Brian.
a stun gun.
Mm-hmm.
Good, Brian.
Well, and I believe now, Brian, that's genius, bro. It works, right? I mean, that's definitely some kind of energy you're putting into the atmosphere.
That's my theory. If they need energy, here it is. A lot of
right.
Yeah.
I mean, you can feed them.
Yeah.
Oh, but I'm getting kind of dark now. This is kind of.
Ooh.
Are you leaving, son? I love you. Okay, have a good night. I'm going to Burbank in the morning. I'll call you. Okay.
I also like watching everyone else jump when I hit the button.
Yes, it's very loud and crackly.
Right.
You used it on the Queen Mary, Brian, and we got
Oh, yeah.
that big bang on the wall within minutes.
When was the last time we didn't get good evidence?
I mean,
That's genius, Brian. That is genius. We called ours the what did we call that thing? But I don't remember. We had a name for it. Alexander's Ring, and it was 9 feet in a circle, and people would walk in, and of course, it zap them on their ankles. And say, I'm sorry, it's 25,000 volts or whatever, low amps. Don't cry. But we put objects in the middle, like TV sets and chrome balls and stuff. But we let it run, and the chrome would got weird on the ball. It started changing stuff. And then Wolf Manor was the most amazing place to test anything. It was such a great playground for us. I mean, I was there for many years, and they tore it down. And
yeah.
Man.
And what was that like for you to lose a place that was like such your home?
I had kind of gone forward in my career in television, and I was living in Manhattan, and I was doing some TV over there and stuff, working with the Google stuff. Anyways, I was working over there, and I talked to Todd on the phone, and that was kind of the last time we talked, and because we loved each other so much, and it was a hard breakup for us. So I wasn't around for the tearing. I was down the street. I couldn't get close to it. It was just too emotional. And I mean, I'll bump into Todd at Home Depot every once in a while. It's kind of weird, but yeah, it was very sad, especially for a lot of the guys, our producers, Jesus Martinez, George Martinez, all those guys. That was their springboard, into production and television and stuff. A lot of us, and it was really hard on a lot of people. There was a documentary, and it's great. It's on True Realm Media. It's TRU Realm Media. The goodbye of Wolf Manor, and I was on it, but I mean, I can barely get through it. It's a tearjerker, You really, I think I miss the ghosts, the entities there more than I do the structure. When you build these relationships, and it's odd, and I understand where people get into what is it, spectrophilia, or they marry ghosts and stuff, because it becomes real,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can tell you, as somebody just living there, it was sad for people to see the building go.
It was tragic, and how it happened was underhanded and bad, and the city was involved, and there was a guy, a fire marshal, that said God told him to take this house down.
It was really fucked up.
It was really fucked up. Yeah, and so we can only fight. You can't fight the city,
Yeah.
But it was bad. So we all kind of moved on with our lives. Todd's, I think he's in Manteca now with his better half and his gorgeous son, and he's doing good. Terry Campbell is married and living in what we call a kind of a fancy area of town. I'm just doing my thing, and Jennifer Dooms, our medium, she's we're up by Canada somewhere now. But
oh wow.
Yeah, it's weird when you separate. You say you're going to see each other, and but that was the original crew. Yeah. And Brandon Smeltzer, of course, passed away in Clovis. He was 32 years old. Yeah, it was a bad one. We were like, what? He's the one that brought Zach over there, after we talked and everything. He's like, Zach, and I mean, he I don't know. We all kind of, back in the early days of Ghost Adventures, and Ghost Hunters was already just been around for a long time, and they came out, and Mystery Quest, and then later on with that Ghost Files, or whatever what are they called?
Paranormal Files.
I don't know. What is it? Amy Allen, her name.
Oh,
Dead Files.
Dead Files,
Yeah.
Right. So her and Steve came out there, and she said to Todd, "It's Scott Gruenwald's going to be there. We're not coming." I had met Amy many years ago, and she was the cutest little thing, and I don't know what happened. Because when I saw her again, she looked like Ozzy Osbourne. Now, she's a wonderful person, but for some reason, she just didn't like me. And
I've met her before too, and she seems very friendly to everyone. That's weird.
And Steve and I hung out, and saved him a couple times, and we did some stuff. You know, he's not really much of an investigator, as he is kind of a jerk. I wonder if I could turn the light on in here.
I don't know.
Oh, I know what I'll do. Let's see if this works. You think with these prices we can have? Oh.
Oh. There you are.
Hello.
Oh no, he's naked.
He's naked.
Well, okay, so back to being naked, you do use a lot of very classic techniques when you investigate. What are some, other than naked, some of the older techniques like candles and bells that you like to use?
Absolutely. Good question, man. So we decided to do a thing called Paranormal 1879. And because paranormal investigating, of course, has been around since the Western days, it was.
Yeah.
We started using the theory that if we took a 6-shooter or a pistol and we put bullets in it, we set it in the middle of the table, the ghost would go, well, that's a gun. You know, I know what that is. It's not going to hurt me. So we started moving away from blinking lights and beeping noises and all that, because they're like, I know if I was a ghost from the 1700s or 1800s and I saw somebody coming in with blinking lights, I'm like, nah, no.
It's an alien.
Right? Time travel don't want
The future man.
go back in time and bring me back alive. But so we started using bells. Bells for communication, candle for lighting, poetry for enticing. And we kind of took the theory of people wearing period clothing and that kind of stuff, because that always does stuff. There's people who bake cookies for the aroma. You know, they'll go into these haunted mansions in the kitchens and they'll bake cookies and they'll let the cookies smell out there and stuff. And damn it, stuff happens, you know?
That's a really good idea.
It's a very good idea. You think, well, they don't smell anything. Oh, really? Well, do they walk through walls and say boo? I mean, I don't know. So, any kind of enticement. So yeah, old school. And then my kit was only $5 because it's just a bell and a candle and and we figured they're more comfortable. Now we started using comedy about 5 years ago. We started using comedy. We went from vaudeville to our own personal lousy humor. And we working on the theory that at the end of an investigation, when we're packing up our equipment, I don't know, it's probably happened to you guys too.
Everyone says
something happens.
Yeah.
Something always happens, and nobody's recording. Of course not. Everybody's popping up. We're all kind of punch drunk, tired. Everybody's just kind of farting and laughing and whatever. Something happens. But of course, Brian would be recording through the whole thing because I could tell. But most people don't. The theory was that maybe just people are shy, maybe in life, as in life, so in death, Peter James said, if people are jerks in life, they could be very much jerks in death. Well, most people are shy. I know I am. And so when people are shy, there's a good chance they're shy over there. So they may not want to answer, but when we're all shucking and jiving and laughing and doing stuff, they might just step in and do something too, because they want to be part of.
Yeah.
And that was strong, So we started doing comedy, and they were the audience. And we've got laughter on EVPs.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we've got shuffling of chairs and stuff, and like they're scooting up their chairs, getting closer to us. And an EVP's got to be pretty damn strong, it's got to be something really good, or I'm just, a barking dog in a car going by is always a ghost to me, right? Because I don't know.
Yeah.
Of course it is. It said my name. It said my name, and some kid outside yelling "car wash," and it's. But when you can get a place that is just totally. It's way out in the middle of nowhere. It's totally controlled. You and one other person. You're 2 other people. You're doing the number. Have you guys done the number game?
Oh, we skip numbers.
Where you skip a number, it always works.
I always I find that I can't tell if I try to count to 100. I find that I can't tell if I'm counting anymore. Like, am I saying it or am I thinking it? And I'm trying to skip numbers. It's very bizarre.
Sometimes it's hard.
Once you're in pitch black and you're like 1, 3, And I'm like,
Right.
am I staying? Am I skipping? Am I thinking?
Yeah. You do it in a circle and you go 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you play it back and you get a 3, a 7, or whatever the missing number, 4, 7, whatever it was. We're asked to do a lot of conventions and stuff, and sometimes you just find yourself like, what do I do? I mean, people pay to go to this thing, and then they say, Scott, you're going to lead a group, and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
lead them to do what? I mean, what do you want me to do? And I'll always do that. My mother taught me that. My mother taught missing number, and so people love it, and something always happens, a lot of times, somebody will scuff their foot or something, and I'll go, oh my God, I'm sorry. I admit it, I'm sorry, because I don't know what it is. And so, and I'm kind of a fraidy cat in the first place. So like Wolf Manor or Linda Vista Hospital, where we're doing something and I have to go in and get all the equipment at the end of the night, I don't like it. I don't like going in there, because we've been causing chaos for hours in there.
We've been stirring it up, and now I'm alone.
Yeah.
And then you go in there and you're like, okay, I'm sorry. Don't do anything to me. I don't want you to do anything to me. And I have a twin, and my twin is like whatever, I mean, you do your thing, I'll do mine.
Yeah.
But when I bring my twin with me, we get stuff, and I don't. I mean, she's not really into, a lot of the stuff. So it's like when you take a newcomer with you on a ghost hunt. It's like taking them to a casino. They always win.
Yeah.
I don't want to call them bait or whatever, but there's something about bringing a new person with you. Something happens. It's like, and then it doesn't happen to them ever again. But it's like that first hit of rock cocaine.
At
It's
one time.
like,
Yeah.
right.
We have a friend named Frank that we brought a few times. To describe Frank, he is a big, sweet Santa Claus looking man, and
Oh my God.
he's afraid to talk. And every time he says anything, he gets absolute responses to his name, and he runs like the wind.
I don't know if I could talk about it. I'm shooting a pilot on Tuesday, and there's it's on my show, just like on one show. It's just pilot.
Still cool, still fun.
It's fun, and I mean, they're like, we'll give you $50, and so all right, I'll do it. And but it's with a whole bunch of people I've never met. So I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm gonna bring some of Jeff Conkle's cool equipment.
Just show up naked. I think that's
It's funny because the producers are the ones that I've already shot the Naked show with two of these producers, so they know.
Where they give you the signal that's like drop clothes, like don't tell anybody else.
It was really hard because so we show up to shoot the Naked show, and I only know 3 of the people. I don't know the other 3. I've never met them before. So and we're supposed to be like a team, right? And it's kind of like what happened to Ghost Hunters the second time around. It didn't work because they tried to act like family. I mean, I love Brandon, I love them all. But they kept saying they're a family. Well, people expected something else out of you when you say you're family. So you really can't say you're family, because people know. But so we were just kind of fledgling investigators and experienced investigators, just kind of hanging out, doing naked stuff. And we got some cool stuff happening, but I don't know these people, and
the vibe wasn't there.
It was weird. It was a weird thing. So after multiple reshoots and voiceover changes and some green screen stuff, and I mean, we finally put out this 22-minute product that, I mean, oh God, my fat stomach. I mean, it was like, and there's one scene where I'm on all fours.
Oh my God.
I did that on purpose because I know people are going to watch this and going, well, you better do something funny or I'm turning it off. So I'm on all fours and there's this weird shadow behind me. And I'm like, is there something behind me? When you get mentioned on TV, when you're not actually on the TV show, but you get mentioned on the show, that's way better than being on a show. There was a Goldfield, the Return to Goldfield, Zach, Ghost Hunters, this last season, I think. my daughter and I are watching it. And she goes, Pop, you should be there. And I'm like, no, I don't do the gold. I wasn't asked to, whatever. And then they said, well, Scott Gruenwald. And I went, oh, now I like it. So Chris Fleming, Scott Gruenwald. I'm like, well, see, that's almost way cooler than having to go to Nevada, hang out, do the whole thing.
If you're someone they reference, you're even on a higher level than them.
Right? It's like they're using me as it was about Mark and Debbie. I had a best friend that wrote that best. A good friend, Mark Constantino, and him and I were really close, and it was tragic what happened. But what made it worse is, I'm Mark's friend, I mean, I'm Mark and Debbie's friend. Debbie's a good friend of my wife and stuff, but Mark and I were just, we were close. And to be on that side of it, it was tough,
Oh, for sure.
The funeral of my son, the ABC producer, I don't know if I mentioned that. He's so badass. He's badass. Did Mark's eulogy. And it was me and there's Debbie had 300 people at her funeral. Mark, we had like 12, but we had to go, and so we ended up going to Mark's house, and his dad was there, and his sister, of course. We went to his sister's house, and it was me and Chris Fleming and a few other people, and we did a seance, and Mark came through, and so it was like, it wasn't until I actually read the police report that it kind of was reality after that, what happened. But when it happened, I just went dark, I stayed off of Facebook. I stayed away from all of that. It was too much,
Yeah.
And, it was very intense for everybody.
It was very intense.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of cigarettes. I thought that's cool. I'm liking this look I've got going on here. I don't know what it is. It's like a velvet poster.
It looks like you just finished inventing something.
Probably not supposed to. Can you see this thing?
Wow.
Oh, what is it?
Oh, well.
It looks amazing.
Isn't it? It's a bunch of wires and stuff. Best friend.
What is it?
It's called a LiDAR. It's the original. When there's an app called the Ghost Radar, it was kind of fun back in, 10 years ago. People would use Ghost Radar, and of course, it wasn't real. It was fun. It was just a fun little thing. Well,
I think my 6-year-old, his friends still play with it.
Oh, it's great. It's aimed at 6-year-olds and new investigators. So, Jeff and I built all the ghost hunting, Ghost Adventures equipment here in the garage here. I can't really, there's just a bunch of junk behind me, but so he said, well, let's make a radar that's a real radar for ghosts, not an app. So we did. He created one, and I designed it. He built it, and we put it out there. And Steve Gonzalez won't use anything else but that on his show now. He hit us up. I want that. And you know what? Even cooler than that is when you're on a show, or you're involved in a show, or a piece of your equipment's on the show, or your shoes are on a show. It's there's a connection to another show, because it ended up on the Drew Barrymore show, which I love Drew Barrymore. Who doesn't?
Yeah.
So that piece of equipment ended up on her show. We had done Paranormal Challenge, and I said, go ahead, yank on me. You want to yank on this? And I made it to the Soup, I think the show was called.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it was cool. I think I'm going to post that again. But me and my friend Matthew Goldman.
Yeah. And
I said, just stand right here. I want a human being next to me. Okay, you want to touch this? You want to yank on me? Go ahead, yank on this. And I'm going like this. And it ended up on the show. Zach said, I need you to come on the show and bring some of your transgender friends, or bring, your real, drag queens and dwarfs and all your amazing circus folk. Of course, he's speaking of my immediate family. And I'm like, okay, I'll see what I can do. And so I got a guy from Sons of Anarchy, and I got Matthew Goldman, and they were laughing so hard at us that they couldn't. And we lost to a group that was together for like 2 weeks. But we had wiped dirty pantyhoses on our clothes. We found on the ground, and it was it was hilarious. And that was a good experience. And out of that, I got hit up to do Paranormal Paparazzi. So, yeah. And one thing leads to another.
Yeah.
Never quit your day job, though. It's so dark. I can't find my coffee.
Oh my gosh.
I know so many people who quit. They like leave. They're even wives and family. They anything to get on television. They'll quit their job. You know, not me. I had to ask the wife. I said, honey, they offered me a job to do, to be on TV. Well, what about your regular job? Well, my boss said I can do it and come back. Well, how much are you making? And I told her, she goes, you still here? Get out of here. So that's when I moved to Manhattan and did all that stuff, which is it's nice to visit, but Aaron Sagers can do it. I can't do it.
Now, you seem to have investigated with almost anybody. Is there anybody on your list that you've never got to investigate with, or a location you've never gotten to go that you've always wanted to go?
I've never been to Gettysburg.
Oh,
I'm going to Gettysburg so bad.
No, right? Let's go.
I'm so excited right now. Let's go.
I'll put you in my suitcase. Let's go.
Please do.
Okay. I'll put holes in it so you can be. Or maybe let's all carriers.
I'll be fine. Don't worry about me.
Mandy is a Civil War specialty collector and memorabilia and everything.
So you've been to Gettysburg then, right? Or you haven't?
I actually have not been to Gettysburg.
I'll see you.
I know. I'm so sad.
The bash is coming out. The Gettysburg bash.
What, Brian?
I said, man, you should make a Civil War T-shirt.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
Do it.
Civil War. Oh,
that is such a dope idea. Civil War.
I wish I had a cigarette. It's weird doing it on the phone because now it's kind of cool because it's all black, so it's just like this floating head.
Looks like the cover of your latest album.
That's oh,
so Gettysburg is that's your a dream spot?
In the States, yeah, I think Gettysburg. I God, I've been everywhere else. I really like to do it, and I'm not much of an outdoorser investigator. You know, give me a secure place that I could, kind of keep it, where I can keep track of the noises and stuff like that. Yeah. But with the equipment that Jeff's building now, I mean, the stuff he makes now is it's insane. I don't know if you've seen Ghost Adventures in the last season or so, but all that stuff that they're using now, the harnesses and the big three-dimensional things you can see through walls and around corners now and all that's Jeff,
Wow, that's great.
Right here in the garage, it's weird. Some guy named Chris Maggard said, hey, I know a guy named Jeff that lives in Fresno. You guys should investigate together. I'm like, no, I want people. I want to be coming over here. So finally I hit him up on Facebook. Hey, Jeff, this is Scott. Hey, Scott. Yeah, Chris said. I go, where do you live? He goes, he lives next door almost. I'm like, oh, no.
You can actually hear him on the phone. You can hear him.
Five doors down. I'm like, oh, God, now he's going to be here every day. I don't want people in. I don't like people, no.
I avoid my neighbors for that exactly.
I said, and then he came over with all this stuff, and I'm like, "What is all this?" He goes, "This is robots, man." And I go, "Well, let's unwrap this. What for?" He goes, "So we can go. They can go in places that are too dangerous for us to go." Oh, okay. There's a thing.
All right.
Yeah.
So we went to Salem. We went under these tunnels where Thomas Jefferson and Samuel Adams and all this cool history in these tunnels, right? Yeah. And this guy slid this brick out on the bottom of this bricked out area, and I guess the maybe the utility people or whatever from 100 years ago had, bricked off this area. But this guy, as historian, goes, no, there's brick. So Jeff made a robot that's small enough to fit through that brick, go down inside there.
Yeah.
So he did, and we could watch it on a camera, on a monitor, because he's a genius. And we see it, and you see an old jacket and some stuff, and like things, and an old chair and a table. We were like, yeah. Then it got stuck, and then that was it. So we went back in a year with another one. It's like NASA. We went back with another one to retrieve that one, and we did. We went in there, and it pulled that one out, so we had to go back. And then we went up to where they did the deadliest, what was that? The Perfect Storm? Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we went up where that whole true story was. And the night that we were there, I think it was me and, I know Jeff was there for that one. It was a bad storm. It was like perfect. And these boulders being thrown up on the ground, and I'm in this hotel that's facing the beach because kind of fancy that way. The waves were just coming over the house that was down there, and is moving cars and stuff. I'm like, I'm afraid. I don't, and I'm trying to do EVP now. And they had these big, thick windows. And then this knock at the door, this girl comes to the door in a bathing suit, a bikini, and she says, "Hey, do you in a little raincoat?" And I'm like, and she's like, I don't know, she's a kid, she's like 24 or something. I'm like, "Oh my God, get in here! What are you doing? Are you okay?" She goes, "Oh no, I work here. Is your TV working?" I'm like, yeah. She's okay. I'm gonna go to the next place. It's nothing for these people. So they're like, they live in Gloucester, you know, they live in these places that are just these huge storms. And people like me come in there like, you know, it's like, I have a friend from Arizona, from Louisiana. He won't come to California because of the earthquakes. He's like, I know. Ain't coming there.
So funny.
I know.
I'm from Alabama, and I've been in 100 tornadoes. And to talk to people in California about tornadoes, you would think you're talking about like the end of the world. And
right.
I've only lived through maybe 2 baby earthquakes, and I'm terrified. But when you talk tornadoes with California people, they're like, "That's the scariest thing I can imagine." Like,
what part of Alabama?
Birmingham.
Roll Tide or War Eagle?
My parents are all War Eagle.
Okay.
But I didn't go to college. So.
Okay. Well, I would show you my Bamalance because we have a Bamalance. It's we're huge fans. So we bought an ambulance, and it's called the Bamalance. And it's kind of nice. It's just a Type 3, like in the movie Ambulance. It just came out. It's a big square ambulance. And, yeah, it's beautiful. I'm looking at it right now, and it has it's all lined with cedar. It's got a bourbon bar, and it's really nice. So yeah, it's all decked out like Alabama. So yeah, cool. Auburn's cool. Can't say bad things.
Both my parents and my brother went to college there, but I had ventured elsewhere. So I'm now in California. What else do we got here?
I wonder if I turn the lights on. Let me see how bad it is.
Give it a shot. I can't believe he lives in Clovis. I'm like tripping out.
That's right next to you.
Literally, it's where I grew up.
Well, there we go.
Well, what do you know? Let's see how the light.
I can see you.
There we are. So this is where we all stuff for Ghostbusters. This is the area. It's all the trash, and I don't know if you can see over there.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Can you see the ambulance?
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
It's so
great.
Cool. We love our ambulance. Yeah, we do crazy stuff here. I could wish I could take you in the house. The dogs will go crazy. Our house is like a fun house, so we have just so many unique things in our house. So one day the daughter will say, "You know, I like the color Tiffany blue." Kitchen's Tiffany blue the next day. We just constantly working on it. It's always been fun. We did 5 years of the show called The Stew here, which raised a lot of eyebrows, and it was actually fun to do. And that was all family. And then we had StewCon at Lindavis Hospital, which was the largest paranormal conference ever. We charged $2 to get in and 25 cents for the overnight investigation because it's funny, right? You know, he's not funny. That was funny. And people still complain. They said there's 600 people on this investigation. I want my 25 cents back. But I mean, Morgan Fairchild came. A lot of people came to that. Cypress Hill, they came out. Wow. And I didn't know who they were. They were like, "Hey, we're Cypress Hill." I'm like, "Oh, hey, yeah, $2." Oh. I didn't know. And they go, "Well, we want to donate these giant hockey jerseys with big pot plants on them." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So StewCon just became huge, and a lot of people didn't like that, and so I don't know. The coolest thing was doing the Queen Mary with Holster Files. I think that was kind of cool because there's no to see it dark with nobody on it. This is during the pandemic. It is because I love the Queen Mary with all my heart, and
I love it
to be able to be there with only 5 people on board.
So you got to work with Holster Files? That's really cool.
There are equipment, yeah. So Jeff and I
Yeah.
brought the equipment down there for them to use.
Very cool.
Shane Pittman was
Yeah.
young man's name I met, and very nice man. Oh my God, he's such a sweetheart. And and Dave hid from me. Oh God. And then because I probably have COVID, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, we did that. That was one of our first TV shows that bought equipment from us, and I maybe that was it. I don't know if it was Deadfalls. It was one of them, and we just start blowing up, and then we created Conkle Robotics, and then we start doing the what we call the evolution of the paranormal. It's changing. I can show you that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, please.
Yeah, this is a LiDAR. I don't know if you can tell, kind of a bad. So when you turn on this top part, the top part spins and it captures. I've got it backwards, of course. It captures the entire room and it maps out the room. And as you go, this thing spins around. It constantly maps, and then you can see on the screen the mapping. And then if anything moves that comes towards you, real or not real or see-through or whatever, it shows up on the screen. So hence the radar. And,
Whoa.
I don't know. It's just incredible. And
That's really cool.
To put that together in a couple hours. That's that.
So it maps the room and gives it out on the screen, kind of like a SLS.
Yeah, but you're looking down on it. It's like a bird's view kind of looking thing. So if you set it down, it'll say, okay, there's all your walls, the door, all this kind of stuff. It shows you're the agent. You're the center of this thing. Yeah. And then if somebody was to walk by you, you could see them. They're kind of a little line going across the radar. And then if something happens over here, but if you're in a room by yourself and you see that, and that's what happens. It's something solid or almost solid that we can't see with the naked eye. So there's a weird thing about that. And so we see things. And so like Steven's all this and Jason Hawes went, we need this. So that's really what they use on their show now. That's their best piece of equipment that they have. Version 3 or 4 of that LiDAR. But I mean, I have cases of LiDARs. I mean, we get so much stuff there. We went and stand.
What's cool is everything's progressing, I think. we're finding out new things and we're seeing what works. I mean, just to think, a few years ago there was no SLS and there was no anything like that, and now we're all starting to figure out different things.
If you could get your hands on a Bill Chappell SLS, they're kind of hard to get. Those are good. The Jet Congo, of course, is the XLS. And then I have personally, it's the RLS. I'm the only one that has one. There's not another one in the world. And so what that is my RLS, I could put it somewhere and I could view it from anywhere on the map. So you send it to your family, in Birmingham, and they put it in their living room. We could watch it through our phones. It's their XLS, it's RLS. So, I mean, we just build what we think. We'll dream about it, and we've taken a break because now he's exclusive with Zach now, so we don't really build anything to sell anymore, Yeah. But it's just fun to hang out with him, I mean, it's been too long, he goes, I need a guy. I'm like, okay, here's his phone number, and his name's Jeff. And I called Jeff to tell him that Zach's going to call him. I just got on Zach Biggins. I'm like, oh, shit. He goes, yeah, we're going to Arizona. You're coming with me, and we're going to go do this thing at Vulture City. I'm like, okay, cool. And when they walked in, we already had the whole thing. All these screens were glowing. Things were spinning. Devices were acting, all that stuff. So when I guess it was Billy and Jay and Aaron came in, and I started talking, I like, you know what? This is my boy's time, So I just kind of stepped back, and Jeff took off, and he hasn't left yet. He goes everywhere with them. Everywhere they go, Jeff is there. And now with house calls as well. So the guy that was
I haven't watched the house calls yet, but
I love it.
Is it good?
I'm gonna watch it. I swear I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, I actually really like it. I feel like it's more evidenced than I think their other locations. So.
Oh wow.
I like the way I see. Well, the trailer. When I saw the trailer, I like it, and I see that there is definitely an influence from Eli Roth. Is his name? I guess.
Oh, totally.
It's changed a little bit, and the dynamic has changed. And I went Dakota. What was his name? Dakota Layden. When he was young, he created that beginning thing for the show. All that, and it changed the show.
Oh, I didn't know he created that. That's cool.
That was influenced by him, and then so I know Billy and those guys, they do all their own editing now. It doesn't get sent off to New York or anything. It all happens. They do all of it. Zach, the voiceovers, and they do everything now. So everything you see, the team you see on TV is the production crew. I mean, it's amazing. They don't have any outside editing or that. Yeah, so they do it all themselves, and Jeff helps. Jeff should B-roll and run around and do his thing. Zach had hit me up and said, we're going to do a new show, Ghost Adventure Legacy. It's going to be you and these other people, and then they dropped it because they say, no, we're not going to do that because it's like watching a cover band, Yeah. And I was cool with it. I'm like, fine. But the other people were kind of destroyed because, we had agents and everything. I'm like, it happens, there's no 401k. There's no retirement on TV. There's no, if you want to be on TV, I hope you're married to somebody that has money because, it's 17 hours a day working really hard, and the money's okay, but then what happens in 3 months when they say, hey man, we're done, and it doesn't happen like maybe in a couple of weeks. It happens that moment. Somebody from higher up says, guys, it's not good anymore, or we don't want to do it anymore, and then you're done. Then what? You're looking for work at 58 years old or whatever. It's tough, man. So luckily, I'm extremely rich. I don't have to worry about that.
me and Brian both work in pre-production for films and stuff. We both worked on like the new Ghostbusters together. We both worked on like the Dark Crystal TV show, doing all the practical creatures and stuff. So we understand a little bit of the entertainment world on the inside.
Work right now because some exec decided that they didn't want to proceed with the project.
That's cool. I gotta hand it to you guys that can do that stuff. Me, and I hate the word talent. I just get in front of the camera and do something stupid or be funny. When it comes to all that other stuff, like what Jeff does or what you guys do, which is tedious, heavy duty work that is constantly scrutinized because it has to be a certain way and all that. Yes. That's a lot of work, man. I don't even listen to EVPs. I'm not going to do that. Unless something happens. I have hours and hours, days of recordings. One day no, I won't. One day somebody will listen to them and I go, well, there's a ghost right here. Oh. Things been a Wolf Manor, and I'm like, I didn't see it. So I don't know. The man baby, a ball spinning, just things that happened that were just like insane, but I didn't see it. It had somebody on the show, the live show. We started getting emails. Go back to this time and look at this, and there's a ball moving, and we don't know, don't care. Just show. We started out that show with fake names because we didn't know how to city react, so it disguises.
Now, to talk about comedy, have you ever do you do stand-up, or have you ever done anything like that?
I do. And so for paranormal events, I do stand-up for the paranormal comedian. So, and it's pretty cool. I mean, I've been doing the same gig for about 13 years now, but it changes a little bit. But I seem to like it. I have there's music, there's dancing, there's all kinds of stuff. I got a song, the EVP song that kind of, I kind of stole it from somebody else, but it's people are recording it, and so So this weekend there was one. It was weird. I was invited to do this one in Ventura, and I looked at the poster and it wasn't on. And I'm like, guess I'm not that funny anymore. And so But it's weird. It's like, okay, hey man, we're going to this thing. You want to do? Yeah, sure. Hey, I can't pay you. Well, that's normal. Yeah, you got to buy your own room. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, well, is it? Can I have my dog? Yeah. And then I see the poster and I'm like, 80% relieved, because I really don't want to do it. But so I decided to go to Burbank instead.
Well, during the pandemic, something I've always wanted to do was stand up, and I spent a lot of my quarantine writing material. And
Nice.
I've only gone on stage probably a dozen times, but probably only have 20 minutes of experience with that, because you go up for 2 minutes, you come down 2 minutes, and I find writing is I write more material than I get to practice.
That's great. I make good money, man. Writers, you get on a team writing for somebody, they make really good money. You don't get the fame or whatever that comes with it, but it's almost like doing pre-production. It's like that's badass, but the stars are going to get credit for it. Somebody else gets credit.
Once I started writing stand-up, I'd be in traffic and I would complain to myself about something, and then I'd laugh to myself about my complaint, and then I'd end up writing it down on a receipt and then make it a joke. And so I have a huge pile of receipts and napkins that all say stuff like real sandwich artist or something crazy on it that only I can interpret what the joke is.
It's we do that. Somebody asked me if I wanted to join a thing in LA, some writing thing.
Like a troupe or?
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, no, I know. I mean, if I just make up jokes and you write them down, right?
It's harder. As opposed, I find it easier to be the funniest guy in the lunchroom than it is to be a stranger that introduces myself as a character and then makes you laugh with me, which is very hard, man.
Well, we like our set. I have me and my attaché, whoever it is. They run the production thing behind me, and the newer they are, the better, because if they make mistakes, it's funnier, and stuff. So it's a lot of it is just off the cuff. You read your audience.
Yeah.
I'll go in there with like $300 or $400 of $1 bills and pay people to laugh, and so they laugh. Even people that don't think it's funny are laughing because they need paid. I was working in Salem, and I did my show. I did my bit, and they all came on after me. And there's that thing between, just because of what the whole thing with social interest, that I really didn't talk with Nick, anymore, and it just kind of was a thing. And he called me up on stage to talk to him and that Elizabeth girl. And we just started making up jokes. It was funny, but we were just playing off each other. He's actually a nice guy, It's just, we just, there was problems, during Ghost Adventures. So,
like in the Ghost Adventures divorce, Zach got you and not
right. I was in the divorce.
Terrible custody.
Right. He ended up with me. Boy, did he screw up. I miss him more and more, he's people driven, but I don't think we will. But it's just, the longer I'm away from that whole thing, finding locations, doing all that stuff, I'm missing a lot of people like Schroeder, and Belanger and all these people that I was really close with at one time, even Chris Fleming and I are kind of on the outs. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just a hard guy to get along with. I don't know, but
I don't think so.
Wow.
Yeah, more and more.
Anytime there's anything in such a niche group, it boils down to personality conflicts that end up.
It does, and you really gotta stick when you're working with a team or you're working with a crew. You got to give them their thing. Everybody has their thing. Mine may be naked comedy. Somebody might be the guy that goes, whoa, 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 whoa. Some guy falls asleep. I mean, it's just everybody has their thing, and that thing could end up with a livelihood. They could be that goes to equipment builder, or they could be the funny guy on shows, or whatever it is. Oh, you gotta let them do their thing, and you kind of got to be respectful to other people, especially this day and age. This thing I'll be shooting next week is, I think I'm the only white cast member. It's going to be hilarious. It's going to be fun. I'm going to have a blast doing it. But it's in this day and age, people look at you for whatever you do, whatever you say. Cancel culture is just rampant. People just want to not like you, for some reason. People are more apt. Well, now I enjoy the good TikTok where somebody falls on the ice. I do. I know they got hurt. They fall down the stairs and their wife falls down behind them. I love it. And I know it's bad. I know they get hurt. And people, and I know, or the guy that falls off his bike or whatever over the handlebars, I'm laughing,
Yeah.
It's funny. I can't, but the dog videos, they steal my heart. I'll watch dog videos all day. I can't. Oh my God, especially if they wiggle or they do things. Or they sing or whatever. I will find myself hours in TikTok before I realize that it's late for work.
Well, Brian,
you should try otters. I've been going crazy with otter videos lately. They are the cutest.
Otters.
Oh my God, I love otters.
People have them as pets in other countries. Amazing.
And they float around and
they're brilliant.
yeah.
They're like
what part of
dogs. They're just like
the country?
Corner that they splash around. They just run all over the house and play the trouble, and they're great.
I love to hear that coming out of you. That's like your thing. That's great. It's like big scary guy with a teeth who loves otters. That's amazing. That's great, man. I think we all have something. So,
well, John Cleese
likes something.
Made a statement about how everyone wants to laugh at you now, but they want you to mess up. Like, they want you to fall in the mud, but if the mud gets on them, it's over. Like
it's over.
It's killing comedy a little bit. If no one is the butt of the joke.
And everybody, Chris Rock, people laugh. But even I think comedians are having a hard time these days because they don't watch what they say. Michael Richards ruined himself, but there's like. Chris Rock's like, man, I'm gonna talk about hoes, I'm talk about hoes and penises and whatever, and people are gonna laugh. I don't care if you like me or not, and it's Dave Chappelle went through a lot of stuff,
Oh yeah.
I was at the show where he walked off and he left comedy. I was there.
Oh wow.
And it's like, yeah, where'd he go? To Save Partner in Fresno, and I was like, well, where'd he go? Well, he walked away for 2 years. He's just gone because he had mental things going on, and somebody said something and it triggered him, and that was it. He's like,
yeah.
And now he's back and he's funny as hell. But.
Yeah, he's back with a vengeance.
I know. Talk about that.
It's hard writing comedy, trying to write stuff, especially when I go to open mics now. Everything is about pronouns. Every joke is about identity. I have one that I'm a married man, so I identify as a he, she, as a he does whatever she tells him to do. That's the best thing I could come up with. But then I'm still worried if I'm going to get in trouble for my he, she pronoun joke.
Well, we have a show we did. We on the Stew we do spoof for TV shows, and we had My Ghost Story, and it was about the dick shaking ghost, and it's about a woman who's tormented by a guy with a dick, and it's really funny. So I'll play that sometime.
Oh my God!
And it's there's full video and everything of the shadow of this dick, and it flies around the room and stuff, and And the woman's terrified, and she has to move out. And then they got this team to come in, and she's telling the story. Her name is Rosa, and she's telling the story about her and her husband are going and here standing by the side of the bed is the dick shaking ghost, shaking his dick at him. And so I played it in LA at I don't know, some convention thing. It was huge, and boy, people didn't like it. You know, people didn't like it at all. Then I played it at other places for a standing ovation. You know,
That's
Rosa was a
amazing.
character. Oh, it's I want to put it on Facebook. You know what? The other day I put on Facebook. I put boys are dumb. I did. I just wrote boys are dumb. I was put in jail for that because it's attacking a gender. I'm like, are you kidding me?
God.
Who doesn't think boys are dumb? Everybody thinks boys are
I'm
dumb.
a boy, and I know I'm dumb.
Boys are dumb.
I know I'm dumb. We do dumb stuff. And a lot of it posted, and I got a couple comments. Then I got a warning. So I put on there, Facebook gave me a warning because I said boys are dumb, and then they put me on whatever that is for 30 days. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
That's so
Just
stupid.
because I mean, I put the crudest stuff on there before. Nothing. You know, there's a girl named Rachel Hoffman, bless her heart. She,
I know her.
back in the day, we're out sexying each other. So I put like sexy stuff of me, and then she put sexy stuff of hers, and they block her.
Yeah.
Because she's pretty, and she was, well, what is Scott Gruenwald? Because I'm not sexy. So, I mean, I could say anything about I want, but she couldn't. And yeah, but now she's doing what she does, so she's all right. But she kept getting warnings and warnings, and I'm like, and she was like a really good model for the Parahorse shirt. I don't know how many people hated her for that. Every time somebody hates it, there was a guy named Steve Ackard or whatever. He made on this full thing against me about the Parahorse shirt. Said, yeah, that his grandma was called a whore and all this, but you know, she was raped and all. And it's made this big story. Yeah, right. And I'm like, dude, back away. What's wrong with you? And he had done this whole thing, and he went on these shows and he talked about how bad I am and I'm a bad influence. I'm a joke of the paranormal, the whole thing. Every time he did it, I sold 50 shirts. So, I mean, it was great. Every time that guy attacked me, so I started sending him royalty checks. You know, I started sending him, $10 check, $15 check, because I knew where he lived. I had a Parahorse delivered to his front door. So, I mean, I could send him stuff in Florida at his place. Because finally, I just stopped because it wasn't funny anymore. But, man, that guy sold a lot. Probably 300 shirts he sold for me at $20 a piece. That's $6,000.
That's great.
That's amazing.
What are you doing now?
All right, well, we're running out of time for the night, sir. What does the future hold for you, sir? What is your plans?
I will be doing a couple of guest spots here and there on some regular shows on Hulu and Peacock and some other stuff. You'll know about it. But there's a show coming up where I play a football coach, and it's really the only first. It's called Latched. It's the only first real show I've ever done with a script, where I'm actually a person, a character. So it's about a guy with a son that's on the football team. And I know I'm the only one that doesn't think everybody knows I'm gay. I mean, I'm way out there, but I'm just trying to hide it and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. I don't know when it's coming out, but we've done some work on it. So yeah, it's good. I play a pretty good gay coach. Who would have thought? I don't know anything about football. I know about gay. I just don't know about football. So. Not much, but so
Amazing.
We're looking forward to it, sir, and we'll hopefully bump into you at conventions.
Okay.
And this has been great. I'm so glad to finally, chew the fat with you and get to talk.
It's my pleasure, man. Nice to meet you, Brian and Mandy too. And we'll do some stuff. Brian, bring your taser.
Yeah. We'll set up something. We're all on the same coast. We gotta all go to Gettysburg together or something.
Shit, we'll stay at my parents' house and come visit Scott.
Yeah.
I'll come on over. I'll show you my haunted house I live in. My cousin hung himself right there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've had everybody in my family dies in there. They will too. So we have 12 guests in here, and they're all here. And she's my cousin Patrick, which I really didn't know when he hung himself. He hung himself right there. And pretty active house, complaining ambulance.
We'll come play.
Oh my
Mandy
gosh.
Mandy lives up the street, so
I'll be there.
Are you guys in LA?
me and Brian are in LA. Mandy's a little south from us, right?
Okay.
But her
Mhm.
parents are right next to you.
We're I think I'm being south. I mean Temecula, southeast or south like San Diego.
Orange County.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
just right south of LA. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. We'll have fun.
We'll do something. We got to all get together. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you.
It
Thank
was
you,
wonderful.
Scott.
It was a
All right.
blast.
Have a good night.
Okay, bye, guys.
Bye.
Wow, that was
He's
great.
amazing. I love him.
Fun.
So fun.
Very fun.
I love him.
What a great show. Everyone, thank you
God.
for watching. Thank you for Patreon. Thank you for go out and get your shirts. Go subscribe to all our stuff.
Yeah.
You can see us at Virginia City Paracon in September, Vulture City Paracon in October, Nevada State Prison episode coming soon, Goldfield School episode coming soon, all that great stuff. Say goodnight, Brian.
Good night, Brian.
Perfect timing.